Could you benefit from building supreme confidence? What would change for you if you played your best when under pressure? What's it costing you to not have the confidence, the poise, and skill to execute when your team needs you most? I've created an exclusive training video designed just for you. I outline the 3 critical keys to building unshakable supreme confidence and dominating under pressure. You'll also find out how you can apply these to your career today so that you can start to speed up your results and follow a predictable system to get you to your goals. Go to IMNOTYOU.com/dominate under pressure. You can go ahead and access that free training. In less than 2 minutes, you'll be learning exactly what I teach my high-performance professional athletes and clients about what it takes to dominate. Again, IMNOTYOU.com/dominate under pressure.
If you try to get right, then you listen to my dad. He's a beast. And if you don't want to listen to him, okay, you don't want to get successful. If you ain't trying to dominate, man, then go listen to something else.
Welcome, athletes, top performers, and all those looking to gain that killer instinct, that edge you need to dominate in any environment. This is the Sports Motivation Podcast, and I'm your host, Niyi Sobo. I played ball and succeeded at the highest levels, and I'm now committed to showing you how you can accomplish the ambitious goals and visions that you have. This podcast is designed to teach you high-level strategy, not just fluff and hype. This will cut to the core if you let it. And by taking action on the practical and next-level advice I share, you will see results. Expect that. Expect to be more confident. Expect to be more focused. Expect to be more decisive. And expect to be more fearless. Expect to become the leader your vision needs you to become. So listen up. Take notes. Let's get to it. Welcome to the Sports Motivation Podcast. It's me, Niyi Sobo. How is the year going so far? Yo, this has been a crazy year for me already. I've been moving fast. I'm super excited to show you guys what I've been working on. I'm going to be dropping a bunch of really cool things, new branding, new logo, new website, all of that. So stay tuned for that. I love when I get in this mode, honestly, and it's becoming easier and easier for me to get in this mode because as I learn faster and faster, as I observe more and more, the more I coach, the more experience I get. It's like I see these themes and I just become to trust my philosophy more and more as it evolves, as it changes, as it grows. And this episode that I'm recording right now is dedicated to a certain type of person, all right? Now, let me explain what that person is. It's for the person who seems to be at a place in their life, in their career, that they kind of like things are going pretty well. You know, like they got some good rhythm. They seem to be doing well relatively to other people, right? Things are going pretty well. And people are telling them things are going well. And maybe you got some goals, but you feel like you're lacking a certain hunger, a certain drive. You seem to lack the juice that's required to get to the next stage. And even though everyone's telling you how good you're doing, and even you're feeling good about yourself, you have this feeling inside that like, yo, I know I could do more, but you lack the hunger to move on it. You lack a drive, the motivation. You can't seem to get yourself to do what's necessary to get you to the next level. You're content. You're full. You're no longer hungry. And a lot of times we know what we got to do, but you're not doing it. So today I want to show you how to get that hunger, how to create that hunger, how to make yourself do what it is that you know it is that you need to do, to keep growing, to keep evolving, to keep getting better, to keep doubling down on those results that you want, to move forward even more aggressively. But before I get into how, which I'm going to break down very clearly how to do it, let's talk about why you lack the hunger. Let's talk about like the real essence as to why you no longer have that drive. At the root of it all, at the bottom, it's because you like it where it's at right now. Like you're okay with where it's at. You're content. And I can't remember what book I was just reading the other day. I think it was, it was Bill Walsh. The Score Takes Care of Itself. One of my favorite books. It's one that I read over and over. I listen to a lot. And he talks about the curse of success. And I've talked about it before, about eating the cheese. Like you start to feel good about where you're at. And it feels good to feel good, doesn't it? Like it feels good. So it's almost confusing because it's like, it's a good feeling. It's almost like a successful feeling. We feel good about ourselves where we're at right now. But the reality is that most people, yourself included, lie to themselves about how good it is. We lie to ourselves. Because honestly, good is relative. When we say we have it good right now, that's compared to other things, right? And what you're doing is you're comparing yourself to everyone else. And you're framing it in a way that makes you feel good about where you are right now. And you're telling yourself you need to be grateful because we learn about the importance of gratitude, right? And so before we start complaining about what it is that we have right now, why don't we be grateful? And so I don't want to confuse you, but there's certain times to be grateful and there's certain times to be thoroughly disgusted with where you're at. And that doesn't mean you can't be grateful for where you are. But if you like it so much where it's at right now and you don't allow yourself to give yourself that pain, you're not going to be able to grow. I was reading a book, Beyond Religion by Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama was explaining how in the Buddhist culture, in American culture, emotions for us are pretty much pleasurable or like painful, right? So if we have an emotion that causes pain, we think it's bad. If we have an emotion that causes pleasure, we think it's good. Sort of like that content feeling where we feel like we like it where it's at right now. It feels good, so we imagine that that's a good emotion. But in the Buddhist culture, they categorize emotions in a different way. It's whether it's afflictive or non-afflictive, meaning is it going to benefit us long-term or is it going to hurt us long-term? So there are some negative emotions like hunger, like pain, that actually benefit us long-term. Where there are some emotions like being content, being satisfied, that can actually harm us long term. Isn't that an interesting way to look at emotions? They look at it totally differently. And that's why they're able to withstand so much pain. That's why Americans generally are a lot more soft. And so you like it where it's at because you're secretly scared to feel the pain of the hunger. Hunger is painful, right? Isn't hunger really just the absence of something? Like when we're hungry, it's because we want something to eat. So when we feel hungry, we want to satisfy that hunger quickly by eating, right? And so we can feel, good. How much weight is somebody going to lose if they always have to feel full? If they can't deal with being hungry? If they can't deal with pain? What is it that we call people like that who can't deal with pain? We call them soft. So if you lack hunger, you're soft. You've become soft. You've become weak. So what's good for you right now is you have the awareness that you're getting soft. You don't like that feeling of settling, even though you are. You've been settling. You've been okay with things where they're at. But you have that feeling that there's more. And you know there's more. Am I right? Is there more? Or are you good where you're at? Is there no more to life? So the question now becomes, how do we become hungry? How do we get hungry? How do we get ourselves to be more motivated than we've ever been and sustain this drive and not settle? I'm going to show you step by step. This is step by step. If you follow these steps, I guarantee you're going to be hungry. This is what I do. And I'm very hungry. So you ready? The first thing that I want you to do is set some goals that excite you, all right? Sounds simple, but many of you have not done it. You set goals that are like, okay, a little bit farther than where you're at right now. That's not what I'm saying to do. You have to set some outcomes that you actually really want. Like say what it is that you actually really want. If I ask you how much money you want to earn, don't tell me what's reasonable. Tell me what you actually really want to earn. Don't say do you actually really want to get to the next level? Do you? Or do you just want to go a little bit farther? And when you set these outcomes, it cannot be based on where you're at right now, what's realistic or what. No. If you are listening to this, that means you have committed yourself to be different. You're not going to be like most people who set reasonable average goals that sort of move them forward, that sort of plug along like a snail. You are committed to being a leader, an innovator, someone who sets the stage, someone who recreates the current reality, someone who sees the world in their own image, not in the image of what someone else has created, not being a follower, being a leader. A leader has the courage to set an outcome that sounds crazy, but it's something that he really wants. They don't just set crazy outcomes for the sake of setting them. They actually sit down and think about how they want the world to be, how they want their career to be, how they want to play, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. And they set those outcomes based on that desire, because I told you, desire comes from God. Desire means of the Father. That desire in you is waiting, is God. It's trying to express himself through you. So don't stifle it. Don't stifle it by setting mediocre, meager, humble goals. No, you set big ass goals. You set the vision high. And by high, I mean what it is that you actually really want. Don't tell me you want to make 150K when you actually want to make $1 million. Now, if you really want to make 150K, then that's what you want to make. That's cool. If that's really what you want. But only you can really say that. So you actually have to put the stake in the ground and say, this is what I want. So what is it that you want? What do you really want? Where do you want to be? Ultimately, I just watched Aladdin with my kids the other day. Aladdin, right? The Disney movie. The genie. If you had yourself a lamp with a genie in it, what would you wish for? What would you say it is that you wanted? And you like, I'm not no kid. This is real life. No, if you think like that, then you're like everybody else. Those who really get in life, they think like little kids. Albert Einstein says imagination is better than knowledge. That's what Albert Einstein said. Imagination is better than knowledge. Your subconscious mind is way more powerful than your conscious mind. Subconscious is what's responsible for your imagination, for your emotion. Little kids have that. Get back to being a little kid. That's what Jesus says in the Bible, right? He tells us to be like kids. So set some goals like a kid would. And do it real. That's the first step. So don't go anywhere else. Don't listen no more until you do that first step. You set some audacious, set a real vision. And if you don't like the word goal, then call it outcome. If you don't like the word outcome, call it result. You don't like the word result, call it vision. Call it where you want to go. Call it a destination. I don't care what you call it. Just say what it is that you want, because that's what it is at the end of the day anyway. What is it that you really, really want? What do you really want? And most people act like they don't know what they want. That's not true. You already know what you want. You know if you want to make it to the NBA. You know if you want, to get a new contract. You know if you want to be the best in the world at what you do. You know that. So if you know that, then say it, declare it, write it down. That's number one. By the way, if it sounds like I'm getting angry, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I speak like this because I care. I care about you. And I care about helping people see what it is that they can actually be. Like, we don't realize how small, how much we limit ourselves. I realize every day how much I limit myself. My challenge is to push myself, to expand my vision, to push farther. I love being around people who help me do that. I love being around people who help me push my vision even farther and say, Niyi, you know what? You could do more than that. You could do this. And I say, hell yeah, you right. I could do that. I didn't even think about that. Expand that, all right? Number two, all right, this is where it gets real. Because anyone could sit down and dream, right, and say, this is where I want it, and play some inspirational music and create the vision. But guess what? That's not enough to create hunger. Because some of you might even already have that, right? Some of you listening to the first step is like, what, man? I already got a vision. I already know where I'm going. I've already sat down. I've done that exercise. Well, that's what you ain't done number 2 yet. And number 2 is get thoroughly pissed off with your current reality, with your current status quo. Get pissed off. Disgust. Get mad. Get disgusted with where you are, with how it is right now. And you might be saying, well, it's actually pretty good right now. Remember, I told you, this is not the time to be content. That's not the time, man. Right now is the time to get pissed off with how things are really are right now. And the only reason why you're content is because you're comparing yourself to other people. So now you got to compare yourself to the vision you just set up. And if you did the first step right, then the vision should be way far off. It should not be where you're at right now. So get disgusted with how it is. Get disgusted with how little you train. Get disgusted with how much muscle you don't have. Get disgusted with how horrible your relationship really is. Get disgusted with the elements of your life that are not the way that you want it. Don't embellish it. Right now is the time to really look at your reality and make it worse than what it is. Look at it and say, man, I can't stand this shit. I want to be able to buy this. I want to be able to travel here. I don't like that I can't do that. I don't like that I can't do what it is that I want to do. I don't like that I'm not playing as much as I know I can. I don't like that I don't have the confidence as much as I would like to have. I don't like that I show up on game day feeling anxious, feeling worried. I don't like that I stress every day. Get pissed off. Do it strategically. You're not going to stay in this state of mind. Don't worry. But right now, you have to use that emotion. It's going to serve you long term, like the Dalai Lama said, right? Sometimes it helps to be angry. Anger is not bad. Sometimes it helps to be sad, to be depressed. Sometimes it helps to be frustrated. I like being frustrated. I enjoy being frustrated because I know I'm on the verge of something. I used to hate being frustrated. My coach helped me see that differently. He said, you know what? Being frustrated helps you. Don't avoid being frustrated. Don't act like everything's cool. Tell me how you really feel, Niyi. Tell me how you really feel about that shit. And he helped me see it differently. So evaluate your life. What is not the way that you want it? Be honest with yourself. What is not the way that you would like it to be? Do you have a hard time waking up? Well, get pissed off about it. Tell yourself, I don't like that the fact that I get up every morning at a different time, that I can't hold myself accountable, that I don't follow through. Get pissed off. Don't avoid it. Don't run from it and go hang out with friends and drink coffee and eat ice cream cones, acting like everything's all good. Telling people how good things are going. Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, everything's going well. No, it's not. No, it's not. I despise that. I refuse to be okay with how everything's going. No. And guess what? That doesn't mean I'm unhappy because I'm very happy. I'm very content, if you will, with life. But guess what? There's a lot of things in my life that are not the way that I want it. And I will not act like they are. I will continue making things the way that I want it. So you have to get used to the fact that being hungry requires you to face some painful emotion. So whatever emotion you get, when you start to see things the way they really are, get used to that. Face it. Don't run from it. So we set the vision. Number 2, we got thoroughly pissed off. That's not enough either. Stick with me, all right? Number 3, now we got to change our definition of success, all right? Now, what has success usually been for you? Success usually has been for you, if you're anything like me, success was getting what it is that you wanted, right? Now, surely that is success. Accomplishing the goal, getting the thing, winning. That's success, right? But can we change our definition of success? Can we have success mean something new to us, mean something different? Success for me is moving towards what I want. That is success. So if I have a vision, if I have a goal, if I have some ambition that I'm going after, as long as I'm moving towards it, that is success to me. And what failure is settling for how things are right now. That's failure. If I stop, if I say, oh, I'm doing all right, this is cool, I want to maintain. No, I do not maintain. I do not believe in maintaining. Only gains, movement, forward, progress, only. So as long as I'm moving forward, I give myself the permission to feel successful. That's much different from saying I have to accomplish my largest vision in order for me to feel successful. Then I'd be waiting on my life. Because as soon as I reach my vision, I'm going to set another one. I'm not going to settle because remember, failure is settling. Look at Steve Jobs. Look at LeBron James. Who else? Tom Brady. You kidding me? This dude is a beast. He will never settle. You think he's stopping after this championship? No, success for him is always getting better. It's not about winning a championship. Sure, he's happy. You see him, he's happy with the trophy. But that ain't it. That's not what you wait for, that one moment. Success is the journey. It's moving. It's movement. It's progress. When Rudyard Kipling says, if you can meet with both triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters the same, then you will have become a man, my son. Rudyard Kipling, great poem called If. Triumph and disaster. And treat those two imposters. They're not real. They're fake. What's real is progress. What's real is movement. If you're waiting just to accomplish the goal, then you're going to be waiting a long time. And once you get the goal, guess what? Oh, that's it. That's why so many pro athletes, actors, killing themselves. Because their definition of success is all the way off. They've rigged the game for failure. You need to rig the game so that you can always succeed. I'm always feeling like a success every day, even when things don't go my way. You know why? Because I still know what I want. And by me understanding what I got to do in order to get there, seeing the things that are in my way, I'm making progress. So even when I'm moving back, quote unquote, I'm still moving forward. Even when things are not going my way, I'm still making progress. It's no longer about getting a certain result. It's about moving forward towards what you want. And then that gives you momentum, positive momentum. So now you can feel momentum even when you feel the pain of your current reality. You see that? That's why I'm always hungry. Even when things aren't going my way, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to settle. That would be the ultimate failure for me. That would be like suicide for me. I can never do that. I'm always going to be getting better. And guess how that came about? I created those rules for myself. I did that. I wrote it down. My shit is written down in ink. And I review it. I read it. I modify it. I update it. I say, you know what? Nah, I don't like this. I don't like the way this is set up. I create the rules. You know, for those of you who have family, for those of you who have a wife and kid, I'm going to go off track for a second, but I have to say this because this is an example of changing the rules, all right? If you have family, if you have kids, and you have the belief that if they're not happy, then you did something wrong, and that if you did something wrong, it's your fault because you're responsible for their happiness. If you have a wife and you feel like you're responsible for her happiness, you're going to set yourself up for a lot of failure. And I did that. That's how I believe. That's how I believe. I believe that it was my responsibility to make my wife happy. It was my responsibility to make my kids happy. So then that means my kids always have to be happy in order for me to feel like a success as a father. And how often are your kids always happy? Exactly. How often is your wife always happy? Exactly. So I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I got to set up some new rules. I said, no, it is not my responsibility to make other people happy. That is not my responsibility. That goes against my philosophy as a human being. I don't believe that. I believe we all have control over how we feel. So that's not my responsibility. But you know what it is? It is my responsibility to manage my own emotional state. It is my responsibility to make myself happy, to make myself grounded, to make sure that I'm motivated, that I'm inspired. And it is my responsibility to lead my family. It is my responsibility to influence them in the right way. That doesn't mean I'm always going to make them happy. I can't make anybody feel anything. I can lead them. I can influence them. I can influence them through love, through compassion, through understanding. So when my wife is upset, I can listen. I can be patient. I can hug her. I can love her. I can teach her. I can train her. Same thing with my kids. My kids are going to be upset. They're going to be discouraged. They're going to lack confidence. That doesn't mean I'm a failure as a father. No. It means that I can lead, though. And it means that I can love them. I can love. I can be patient. I can be happy. And that will have a better influence on them. Do you see how I changed the rules? And now, if my wife is upset, it doesn't have to mean I'm a failure as a husband. My wife can still be upset, and I can still love her, and I can still feel like a good husband, and I can still move forward towards my vision of what I ultimately want to be. And I can still feel the pain when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, because I mess up. I don't abide by my standards and my rules all the time in terms of how I act with my wife, in terms of how I treat my kids. But because I set up the rules in a certain way, as long as I notice that, get back on track, keep going, I'm good. Right? Because is there some magical moment in time where all my relationships are going to be so perfect and me and my wife are going to be so perfect and so blissful and then, that's it? No. Change is the only constant. There's always going to be ups and downs, always going to be pain and pleasure, always going to be night and day, always going to be fire and ice, always going to be hot and cold. Life is all about polarity. There will always be that. So I welcome that. I embrace that. And I do not let the results of what I'm getting dictate how I feel. Does that make sense? I can choose how I want to feel. Suni, I went on that tangent because I wanted to drive that point home about you being able to change your own definition of success. All right, number 4. So look, remember, number 1, we set some goals that excite us, a real vision. Number 2, we get pissed off with how it is right now. Get pissed off. Stop acting like everything's cool because it's not. Number 3, change your definition of success. Number 4, get away from lames, all right? Stay away from lames. Now, what is a lame? Here's what a lame is. A lame or lames are those people who are okay with life the way that it is. And here's what I mean. They lie to themselves. They've stopped growing, and they're okay with that. They're okay with the fact that they have stood still and they're not going anywhere. That means they don't have visions, they don't have goals, they do not have ambitions. And when you speak your goals to them. They find a way to poo-poo it. They find a way to ignore it. They find a way to hate on you subtly or not so subtly. Those are lames. Stay away from them. All they're doing is reinforcing your current mediocrity. They're reinforcing your current lack of hunger. They're reinforcing your current state of softness, being weak. Get away from people like that. Refuse to be around people like that. And I didn't say refuse to be around people who don't accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or who are not, making this amount. No, I didn't say that. I said get away from people who are okay with that, who don't want to grow, who don't want to move forward, who don't want to expand, who don't want to evolve. Those are the people that if you want to be hungry, stay away from. If you don't want to be hungry, if you're content, then keep hanging out with them. It's no judgment, by the way. But you said you wanted to be hungry. That's why you listen to this. So get away from those type of lames. And I call them lames because they are lame. They actually can't move. The definition of lame, right? Somebody whose limbs is like paralyzed. They lame. They can't move. They're content. They're no longer making progress. They're dying. Their muscles are atrophying. Their muscles are getting weaker and weaker. They're weakening. They're soft. They're mentally soft. These are the people you cannot be around. And of course, the next step is get in front of those people who are actually getting it, who get in front of some people, hang around people whose results actually make you feel inadequate. Get in front of some real winners. Be a part of a group of people who are actually succeeding, who make you feel like, damn, I got to step my game up. I didn't even know you can do it like that. I thought I was organized. I thought I was doing it. I thought I had big goals. But look at this dude said he want to do this. That makes me reevaluate my whole vision. Maybe there's more I can do. Maybe there's more I can become. Maybe there's more I can see. Maybe there's more I can push myself towards. Maybe I can train more. Maybe I can train more efficiently. But you'll never know that if you stay around lames. But if you get around some people who are winners, you will, because they'll expose you. That's what a leader does. A leader shows people what's possible. So get around other leaders. A leader shows people what's possible in life. Like, I didn't even know you can do that. Apple, when they drop a new product, everyone looks at them and say, what? I didn't even know we can do that. That's what they was thinking about? Man, let us go back and create that. Russell Westbrook over here averaging a triple-double. He making people read. No one, everyone said no one's gonna do that again. Oscar Robinson it was the last person to do it. No one can do that again. He's recreating what people think is possible or not. I didn't even know they can do that. Get around some winners. And the next one, get a mentor, get a coach. Get someone to hold you to a high standard. Get someone who can actually challenge you. That can say, you know what? Nah, I think you could dream bigger than that. I think you want more than that. A coach, man, someone who can see something that you can't see because you can't see everything. You never will be able to. You need other people. Get yourself a coach. Get a mentor. And tell them your vision. Help them let them help you raise your own standard. Next one, read your ass off, man. Read books. Read books. Get books. Buy books. Read books every day as much as you can, because all it does is help you raise your standard. All it does is expand your vision, expand your horizon. Always be reading. Always be pushing, learning. Never stop learning. Get the biographies of all your favorite athletes. Get the biographies of all the people who have accomplished big things in life. It will help you realize how soft you've become, how weak you've become. And don't just read for the sake of reading. Read for the sake of learning something new, of expanding your vision. Let that be your goal the next time you pick up a book. Next, focus on improvement, all right? Focus on improvement. Focus on progress. That's it. Remember, this goes back to changing your definition of success. Just focus on movement. Focus on growth every day. If you learn something new about yourself, that's a win. That's a win. You won today. That's no exaggeration, man. That's not me telling you just to feel good about yourself. No, that's actually legit, really a win. You can't possibly expect that every day you're going to be accomplishing some major feat. No, life is a series of small improvements, and you will have breakthroughs every now and then. But breakthroughs don't happen every day, every moment. No, small improvements. But guess what? You can even make those small improvements feel like breakthroughs. And so now you do get to have breakthroughs because you created the rules. So if you learn something real small every day and you make that feel like a breakthrough, you lost 1 pound this week. That's a breakthrough. You put on 10 pounds to your bench press max. That's a breakthrough. You got a little bit more patient with your kids. That's a breakthrough. Your left hand is, you feel a little bit more comfortable with your left hand. That's a breakthrough. You get to make the rules. And lastly, redefine pain. What does pain mean to you? Pain hurts, right? What does pain mean? Does pain mean you should stop? Does pain mean that's bad? Does pain mean you should ignore it? You should run away from it? Pain is a great thing. That's my definition. Pain is awesome. Pain alerts you. Pain is a signal. Tells you what needs to be done, what you need to do to grow, what you need to do to evolve, what you need to get rid of, what you need to stop doing, what you need to start doing. Don't ignore pain. Pain is a signal for you. It's the best thing that can happen for you. You know, I just heard a story about Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a marketer. I follow him on Instagram. He's an awesome follow. You should check him out. But I heard that, and he's also an investor. I heard that he missed an email that someone sent him an email. So he's an investor and was trying to get him to invest in Uber, right? Back when Uber was just, in the beginning stages. It was in the startup phases. And they were asking him to invest $50,000 in Uber. And he didn't get the email. I mean, he skipped over the email. I imagine because he had so much email, right? He didn't get the email. And so now guess what? He has an assistant that her only job is to go through his email and make sure he doesn't miss opportunities like that. Now imagine if Gary V didn't get that email just because he didn't get the notification, because it didn't alert him. It didn't say, ding, we got the email. Have you ever not gotten a ding on your phone and just totally missed somebody's text message? What if that text message cost you millions of dollars, like him not investing in Uber cost him? That's what pain is. Pain is that ding. Pain is that alert when you get that email. Pain is that signal that comes on in your car, says, "Ooh, gas, you need gas." Pain makes you pull over and go fill up the gas tank before you go on a desert and lose gas. I remember I drove to Vegas Me and a couple of my friends some years ago. I think it was like 6, 7 years ago. And I was driving and I had some gas and I was like, all right, hold on, dude. I think I could get some gas. Like I was on a roll and I didn't want to stop to get gas. And so I decided to keep going. And what happened was there wasn't a gas station for like a long time. We ended up barely making it to a gas station and get gas. But my point is, if you're not hearing the pain, you liable to get pulled over on the side of the road without gas, which would not be a good look if you don't have the pain signals. So pain is not a bad thing for you. Things not being the way that you want it is a great thing for you. It alerts you to what you need to do to make it the way you want it. No longer ignore it. No longer act like it doesn't exist. No longer seek to pacify the pain. Don't do that no more. All right, so I just laid out for you how to be hungry. And if you do that, you will be hungry and you will move and grow at a fast pace. I promise you that. If you do those steps. But what would prevent you from believing me? What would prevent you from believing me that all of these things that I just said are true? What if you still don't believe me? You still don't believe that you can be hungry. What would prevent you from believing me? You know what it is? Your environment. Your environment. You must change your environment. You got to get out of the same place. You can't be around the same people. You can't still do the same things, expecting to get new things. You can't expect to be hungry when you're hanging around people who are content. Your environment is a big deal. Also, what would prevent you from believing me is you just being soft, man. Just being unwilling to stand the pain of reality. And those two tie hand in hand. Because if you have that, then that again, your environment is reinforcing that. So stop being soft. Stop being weak. Have the courage to set some goals for yourself. Set a vision for yourself about where it is that you want to be. Be willing to deal with the pain of it not being the way that you want it. Change how you view success. Get away from lames. And then get around in front of people who make you feel like you're not doing enough. Get a mentor. Read. Focus on gains. Focus on improvement daily. And redefine pain. Life is about growth. All right? Growth includes pain. Pain is love. Love, if you've ever loved someone, it can be painful. Don't be afraid of pain. Grow now. What's the alternative, honestly? Dying slow? You're only growing or you're dying. There's no plant, no organism in life out in the world that isn't either growing or dying. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. There's no in between. There's no content. There is no such thing. That's an illusion. Pleasure is an illusion. If you can treat both triumph and disaster, those two imposters, the same. They're both imposters. There's a great quote by Seneca, man. He said, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." Seneca, the great philosopher, Roman philosopher, Stoic. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Live now. Live today. Grow today. Move today. Don't be scared of pain no more. No more. All right? I believe in you. You got the juice. And I'll tell you, you are only scratching. You haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what you can actually be. I remind myself of that daily. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of all that I can do, all that I can contribute to this world, to you. I don't know how many episodes iTunes is going to let me come out with, but I will never stop growing. I will never stop evolving. I can only get better in what I do. I will only get better. It's impossible for me to get worse because I am focused on getting better. And I believe that I am unlimited in my potential. I'm unlimited in all that I can be, and all that I can do, and all that I can have. Unlimited. So I listen to my desires. I listen to the signals. I listen for what it is that I want. And I know you can do the same thing. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Do not settle. If you want to lead, then you have to lead yourself. You can't settle yourself and try to push other people to grow. Lead yourself. Become more yourself. Refuse to complain about other people. Lead yourself. Grow yourself. You will be a leader, all right? So this is how you be hungry. This is how you get hungry. Let's keep going. Much love. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Motivation Podcast. Make sure if you dig in the podcast, go and subscribe so you can always get the latest episodes. I come out with a new episode twice a week on Tuesday and Friday at 3 a.m. Eastern. And make sure you go ahead and rate it and leave me a good review. As always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Much love. One of the most common questions I get from athletes all the time is this: what is the single best thing I can do to reach my goals? How can I set myself apart from everybody else? Obviously, there are a lot of things, but the one thing that's helped set me apart was having a coach, a mentor, someone to show me the right strategies and how I need to do things specifically to achieve my results. So you could try to do it on your own, but you'll end up making many mistakes that could have been avoided if you had someone guiding you and coaching you along the way. 99% of athletes in the world have expert coaches to show them the things that they can't see. If you want to work with me as your coach, I want you to go to IMNOTYOU.com/SRC and learn more and sign up for a free coaching session. I'll give you 60 minutes of my time for free, and I can teach you some dynamic strategies, plus show you how you can secure me as your sports results coach. All I ask is that you fit in this criteria. You're serious about your sport, you're willing to invest the time and money, and you have clear goals of taking your game to the next level, or some sort of specific results you want to achieve. This is definitely not for everyone, and I have very limited spots available for this. So, if this applies to you, I want you to take action. Go to IMNOTYOU.com/SRC, and I guarantee you're going to take your game and your career to the next level.